Hey, welcome back to the episode of Instagram Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. As always, my co-host is here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hello.
It's been a while since you and I have been in the room together.
Like roughly, I don't know, an hour to 30 minutes.
No, I mean
5 seconds.
What I meant was it's been a while since you and I have been in the room together to record a podcast.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. Hey, welcome back. Yeah. I don't know if you listened to our episode. I do know that you listened to our episode with Kyle and I, where he reviewed GD Men's Party. Mm-hmm. But now we're on to better and brighter things.
Yep.
Where we're
doing. What are we doing this week,
dude? We are doing the winter 2018 season wrap up.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a treat.
Yeah. This is where we watched every single show in winter season, and we're reviewing all of it, each episode 1 through 13.
Yeah, here we go. This is gonna be a 12-part episode.
All right, let's start off with Ouran High School Host Club 2.
Oh my god, that would kill me. I'd be so happy if it's 2. Have I told you my idea for 2?
Yeah, you have. But would you like to tell us?
Yeah.
Again?
So my idea for 2 is that it's some time has passed. The main character. Here's the thing. I don't know anybody's name.
Yeah, his name is Konichiwa.
No, it's not. Okay, so here's a few. Here we go. Here are all the names I know from. Because I actually like Ouran High School Host Club a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Here are the names I know from Ouran High School Host Club.
Honey Senpai,
Mori Senpai.
Oh shit.
There is. Hold on. There is the Itachi twins.
Oh, the Katana twins.
The Itachi twins, and one of them is called. Fuck, this is bad. Okay, in my defense, also I did have a couple beers and some Rumble Mints before
absolutely.
recording.
Their names are Greg and Brian.
They're not Greg and Brian. It is fuck. Oh my god.
Susan and Karen.
Here's the thing. Sierra's screaming at the fucking radio right now, being like, "Oh my god, Juan, how do you not remember their names?" Okay, here we go.
Sierra's always got to be that guy.
God damn it! I don't remember. Anyways. And then there's Mommy and Daddy. Because,
oh, shit. That's what you're calling them?
Well, one of them gets called Mommy, and this one does get called Daddy in the show. They get referred as that in the show. Hikaru and Kaoru. Boom, nailed the twins. Okay, there you go.
Okay, nice.
And then the prince, the main character.
He's not the main character.
The main character of the guys.
Yeah, the main.
What is his name?
Man. Our main man, Yorm.
Anyways, so the concept is, here's my idea.
Haruhi. Bro.
Oh my god, Haruhi. Yeah, that fine ass dude. Fucking best boy, without a doubt.
Best boy, absolutely.
Anyways,
fucked.
Anyways, the idea would be, time has passed. Haruhi has now married Mommy, which is the one with the glasses. Uh-huh. And he, and she's the marriage isn't obviously that well or whatever. It's not going, they don't all love each other, obviously. And all the other host club members have been, they're estranged. They don't see each other anymore. And it's this reunion, this 10-year reunion, and they come back, and it's beautiful. It's an OVA that I'm working on. So when I write it.
And why did Haruhi marry Glasses Guy again?
So at the end of the anime, sorry, spoilers for this anime that didn't even cover the whole show. At the end of the anime, there's a meeting between Mommy and Daddies. Daddies. They're essentially their fathers, and they're talking about hey, I would love, I love the fact that our sons are doing the club together. They look like they're really shaping up. They're doing well, essentially. And they're I hope that your family and my family can continue to work together in the future. That's great. It goes oh, but there's one thing. Is that girl, Haruhi. I would really like her to marry my son. I think she'd make a great wife. And then the other guy goes, whoa, the fuck she will, because that bitch is marrying my son.
And then out.
Yeah, so that's how, and so the concept, the conceit to it would be that Haruhi ends up marrying Mommy,
which was the bad choice. You always marry Daddy.
Yeah, because she's exactly because for some convoluted reason, essentially to make the other one happy, and so that's my idea. Anyways, Ouran High School Host Club Season 2 is not a thing.
No.
Let's make it very clear. Trip, how you been, man?
Man, I've been good. Some stuff happened. I got a tooth pulled out of my face, which was very unfortunate for everybody involved. But now things are going okay. I got a nice little jaw rearrangement action going on, because apparently that's what happens after you get your tooth pulled out. My other tooth was trying to get pulled out too, but he just couldn't do what he could do before. So instead, he just said, yo, go to Dr. Murray.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Nice. So
you like my flow, my dentistry flow?
For a while, it was like, what's he doing? It's like, oh, he's flowing. I gotta give him them beats.
I'm going with it. I appreciate the backup.
What's going on?
This is a new thing we've never done before. We're going to do it constantly.
No, we're not. For people who don't understand rap, what happened was Trip went to the dentist because he had to get his wisdom teeth pulled.
For people that, yeah.
What anime fan loves rap?
Anybody that watches Devilman Crybaby, Samurai Champloo.
Very true.
That's it.
Those are the only two raps in anime.
But yeah, no, I had to go to the dentist because like forever ago, back when I was a wee little lad, they were just like, yeah, your teeth's fine. Don't even worry about them wisdoms. They're growing in. You got a big ass mouth, homie. And I was like, okay, that's wonderful, doctor. Thank you.
Were you in South Central LA when this happened?
No, man, I was in a children's dentist place.
Nice.
They were dentisting me.
And it turns out it was a lie and you didn't need wisdom teeth pulled.
Yeah. Later on, they were like, yeah, your teeth are coming in crooked. And by later on, I mean, I was a full grown ass adult. I was like 22 years old. And they were like, you might have to get your wisdoms removed. And I'm like, all right, well, I like that you said might because I'm not going to. Time went on. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm getting 2 hours of sleep a night. This is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I got one of them pulled. I'm getting full amounts of sleep per night.
What's interesting is that I didn't know that you could literally just pull it out because they just
blew my mind.
It out.
I was so fucking nervous. I'm not down with anything. I've never had to have surgery. I've never had surgery in my life. So I'm going into it like, knock me the fuck out. I don't want to be a part of this. If I die during this, who gives a shit? I was knocked out.
Yeah.
But then, of course, it's not that serious.
No, it's like minor surgery.
1 billion people have this. So anyways, they were just like, yeah, we're just going to numb you up and then pull it out. I'm like, oh, okay. Getting all nervous. What kind of tools are they going to use? And he pulls out like some dentist pliers. And he's like, all right, hang on a second. 5 minutes later, my tooth popped out. And I was like, oh.
Did they let you keep it?
No.
They let me keep
probably
mine.
could have asked.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that shit.
Was it gross looking?
Yeah, I don't want teeth.
Did they stitch you up or not?
No, it's not even a thing.
Really?
Yeah, because it was exposed and shit.
Right.
If you have it there impacted, then they have to do like a whole surgery type thing.
And one of them is impacted, right?
Nope. It's just hard to get out because it grew in at a weird angle, so they can't just yank it. They got to do some... Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, man. Like, now they do have to do some stitching.
So, quickly, recap. Mouth. Levels of pain. Yay or nay? A lot or not?
3 out of 10.
That's a lot. That's a lot better than how you were.
Before it was like 8.
That's
easily 8, possibly 9, but I don't know. I don't know my scale yet because tooth pain is some of the worst pain. People that have been through a lot of shit, tooth pain is the fucking worst. Yeah, it was bad. I would definitely not put it at a 10. Like I know it wasn't a 10 because like I wasn't crying constantly. It was just like I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be like, oh my God, I can't do anything. This is the worst. I don't know what to do. And then I would walk around the house and every once in a while like, luckily I was home alone, so like I wasn't waking up Josh, my roommate, or anything. It was a chill time. It was fine.
T-pain does suck. It always like just like it's close to your fucking brain, so it quickly leads to a migraine, which is fucking the worst.
Yeah.
What else, dog? You been upset? Anything else besides chilling and working and getting the tooth extracted?
Nah, man, not a whole lot. Just been monster hunting, been watching some TVs, been having a good ass life. You said that you've been watching some TVs too. You specifically came into my house and were like, yo, bro, Atlanta.
I had to talk to somebody about it, yeah.
Because, oh my God, I watched that episode yesterday, and I was like, this is the most fun I've had with it. It was during the day. It was...
Our Atlanta schedule was not sync.
Well, it wasn't during the day. It was just like after I got off work. So it was like 6:30 or so.
I watched it like at 11.
Yeah, nah. I was going to bed. I'm a sleepy boy.
Go to bed. Okay, so I've been good. I've been watching a bunch of stuff. Some animes, mostly stuff just to finish wrapping up and whatnot. Yeah, I have been adding a lot of things to my queue to watch for the new episodes that are coming out.
We decided there are 25 new shows,
and that's just on Crunchyroll because there's also stuff on Amazon and other things we got to find out.
And that's also not including the 2-core or more shows. Yeah, so
or the shows that Trip just refuses to watch.
Yeah, or like a sequel show or Lupin the Third, which is it's a whole different thing. And I'm like, I'm not getting that. I've tried that. It's not for me.
Anyways, so I've watched several things recently. We watched Ready Player One. We talk about that. I watched this movie called Unsane. It was about a chick who checks herself into like a mental institute and she gets held there against her will. It was all shot. Apparently, I found this out. It was all shot on one iPhone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was super weird. Because at times, I was like, wow, these angles are pretty fucking weird, And I was like, the quality would vary and the lighting would vary. I was like, and then I found out iPhone, fucking innovators.
Makes sense.
It was pretty good. I also watched most recently, what's it called? Also watched Game Night. Hilarious movie. You're right.
Fucking amazing.
Fucking great. And then I watched A Quiet Place, which I liked. The people who were watching with us, and not like people we knew, just the theater were kind of rude. This asshole two seats over kept making dad noises and clearing his throat. He's got popcorn stuck down his throat. Dude, if you got something stuck down your throat, go outside and fix it.
You know what? If you're missing a little bit of the movie to give other people a better movie experience, you are a hero. You are a hero, and you should take care of that.
I don't think he cared. And the guy in front of us to the left kept clapping and cheering for shit like it was
way to go, John Krasinski. You a motherfucker.
Like it was like some sort of sporting event, exactly like that. I was like, what do you like? And I was like, where the fuck did this guy learn where to watch a movie? But
I know where he learned a theater.
Nice. All that being said, great movie. Super enjoyed it. You should watch it.
I'm excited. I'm going to see it tomorrow night.
I've been super fucking killer busy with school. Been doing a bunch of shit today.
You've been learning.
Yeah, I was learning today. Today for animation. We're working quadrupeds, so we're doing a walk cycle for a tiger. Fuck, have you ever watched a tiger walk? No. Such a pain in the ass. Those fuckers walk so funny. Anyways, that's what I've been up to. That's what's good with me. Okay, so we talked about this during dinner. I wanted you to tell me some calls you've had.
So right now, I don't know. I don't remember if we ever brought this up. We decided that we wouldn't bring it up on the fucking podcast. So because now I am an assistant manager at the apartments that I work at, where we're currently recording. Yeah. I have to live on property, and I have to take care of any emergencies if they come up after hours, which is current. You and I are now doing our job after an emergency might happen. Yeah. Like, it's an emergency time right now. So nothing's fucking happened. I didn't bring it up before because I'm like, we'll deal with it later or whatever if there's anything. There's feedback from our phones if they're turned on to like receiving calls and whatnot, but this is a kind of thing that I have to keep on now. Yeah, so we were like, in case it comes up, like if it does come up, we'll address it then, but for now, whatever. Yeah. So a few nights ago, I got a couple of calls. Now, this particular day was a fucking wacky day. We had to shut off the water for 7 buildings so that we could repair a pipe that busted from an ancient-ass tree.
We were just talking about pipes.
Yeah, man, we were just talking about pipes. And I taught you a special little thing. You learned a fact... Tangent time. Yeah. You learned a fact that Fireball has an ingredient in it that's used in like pepper spray and some like dangerous chemical shit.
I've heard it. Saw on the internet. Can't be a lie.
And it's not a lie at all. It's glycerol, which is used in a shitload of food, and it's totally fine for you to have. It just depends on how you use it. Yeah. And then I was bringing up the best analogy that I could, where like, yo, man, pipes are fucking terrible. You know that they use that shit in pipe bombs? And like... Yo, man, you gotta have
an running water in a toilet, dog? Yeah. What the fuck? You know this kills people?
It's just like, the pipes don't kill people. The shit inside the pipes that explode do. Yeah. So if you throw some shit in some other shit and it makes worse shit, not all parts of that are bad. You know, the whole like bleach and ammonia thing causes a dangerous chemical that fucking destroys your lungs and it kills you. You can't breathe that in. Yeah. Fortunately, we could use both of those separately for other really good things. But as soon as they're combined, it gets all fucky. Yeah. Long story short, so a pipe broke in front of one of our buildings, and we were like, okay, well, hopefully it's just like an irrigation pipe that we could use. Like, that's the kind that's used to like water the lawn grass, and whatnot. Yeah. And we were like, hopefully it's that, so that we could just shut off that water and then take care of it. But it wasn't. It was a mainline pipe that, takes care of the shower and the fucking everything. Yeah. So we had to shut that off for 7 buildings. And
for how long?
For an undetermined period of time. This happened at 4, and we were like, okay, shit, let's text these buildings immediately. Like, hey, sorry, we have to turn off the water for an undetermined amount of time. There's emergency maintenance going on. Hopefully we'll resolve it soon. Thank you so much for your patience. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. I got one response of, thanks for letting me know. Good luck. Wonderful response, by the way. And we get a couple of calls like, hey, my water's shut off. What's going on with that? I'm like, I texted you that is all fucked up. And when will it be back on? I don't know. It's emergency. Like I said in the text, like, we don't know what the fuck's going on. It's about 8:30 and I'm starting to get a call and I'm like, okay, I don't know this number. Let's see. You're supposed to wait for it to go to voicemail. They didn't leave a message. And I was like, okay, cool. Guess it's nothing. Then they call again and they left a message like, my water's not turned back on. When's it supposed to come back? And I called back. I let them know. They're like, okay, but when's it supposed to come back on? Because I need to use my water. And I'm like, hopefully soon. But I have no idea. They're working on it as hard as they can. They've worked like a 16-hour day at this point. They're trying fucking hard for you. Like,
yeah, homie, be cool, dog.
Off.
Yeah.
And it wound up being resolved at 10:30 at night. And I'm amazed that they were able to do it with just 2 people in the dark.
Oh,
like,
man.
it was fucking so dark out there and they were taking care of it. So that's one thing where I was like, yo, this motherfucker. And I don't get called often. It's just happened a couple of times. But earlier that day at like 7, it might have been 6:30, but I'm going to say it was 7. I was off work. I was chilling at home. I was chilling with a homie. And
was that Kyle?
It was Kyle.
Fucking Kyle.
It was fucking Kyle. And we were playing a little bit of a Hat in Time or some shit or watching anime. I don't know. The only 2 things that I ever do anymore, video games and anime. So I went to go break up this pot party that I was called about.
Whoa, a pot?
Yeah, they called it a pot party.
To color me intrigued.
So this pot party was a few houses down. I just had to go and see what was going on and tell these motherfuckers, yo, you could do whatever the fuck you want. Just be 35 feet from any of the doors, windows, or entries to any building in order to smoke and not bother your neighbors, my dudes. So I get over there and I'm like, okay, I know the dude who called. He's not a dude who should ever call. So I go over there, and there's nothing. Doesn't smell like weed at all. The windows are open to the neighbor's apartment, and there are 4 people there. You could see them because the windows are wide open. You could see these motherfuckers laughing and having a good time with no weed, no bong, no joints, no nothing, no smells, no smokes. It was chill. So I went over to the place, the next door neighbor, and was like, hey guys, nothing's happening over there. I just wanted to make sure it was that place. They're like, come inside. I don't want to talk about this outside.
Is that protocol? Is that cool, man? Is that on the level? Are you allowed to go inside if they invite you?
They invited me inside. I'm a guest in their house.
Okay. You're no longer the manager. You're now a guest.
I'm a guest, whatever. And I'm just like, guys, level with me. Was it them? And they were like, yeah, we smelt it about 30 minutes ago. When we were going down to go do our laundry at the laundry place, we ran into the general manager of this property or whatever, which he just quit on like Tuesday or Wednesday last week. He fucking...
Who quit?
My general manager did.
Bronco guy?
What?
Guy likes football.
No.
I don't think I know this guy.
Yeah, you don't know this guy. He doesn't like exist.
Damn, these are good. No, I just grab some candy, start eating them, like, but they make noise, which makes me really sad. I can't eat them.
Yeah, a little bit crunchy. So he turned in his resignation. He's worked for the company for like 40 years, and he's just like, yep, well, I'm retiring, so today's my last day. Like, holy shit. So anyways, he's still taking care of the laundry stuff because it's his own second, like, it's his
second
business.
job.
Yeah. So he takes care of laundry at multiple places, and apparently this dude saw him and knew who he was for some fucking reason and told him about the situation. And this guy says, yeah, you should call the emergency line for it. Well, little did he know that guy that called complains about literally everything. He just wanted to have something to complain about for that day. Then I was like, I'll come back by 30 minutes or so, and I'll figure out what's going on. If there's anything happening, please give me a call. Let me know. I want to come over right when it's happening so I know that it's there and I could take care of it, because you guys shouldn't have to deal with that. That's not an okay thing. That's in the lease. It didn't fucking matter. If somebody's smoking pot,
so no pot party.
No pot party. If somebody's smoking pot and it's bothering their neighbor, that neighbor should definitely call me when it's happening so I could be like, hey guys, sorry to tell you, but you can't smoke pot in the apartment. Which is like, who gives a shit if it doesn't smell? My whole deal is do whatever the fuck you want. This is your life. This is your place for all I care. But the thing is, if your neighbor is being bothered by it, that's fucked up. Be a considerate person.
Yeah. Because there's like, he lives there too, you know?
That's my whole job is just like, hey man, stop being an asshole.
Don't be a dick, yeah.
That's all it is. It's don't be a dick. Give me money so that you could live here, and making sure that people are decent enough to live here before they actually come. So
it's like living the dream, man.
It's a wonderful life. Long story short, what have you been watching for anime this week, man?
Nothing, man. Not a goddamn thing. I've literally just been watching the shows I'm supposed to be watching to wrap up. And then, I want to start watching the new shows. I just haven't gone around to it. I also need to watch what we're watching for next week episode.
Which we'll talk about in a moment.
We'll talk about later. But, man, it's just so fucking busy with school and shit. But, you know what? It is what it is. I can't complain. I remember there's a time when you and I were talking, be like, have you been watching it? When you're just like, nah, man, I haven't been watching any anime. I'm like, man, fuck you, Trip. And now I'll be like, man, I totally get it. Trip was busy. Trip had shit to do.
I was. It happens sometimes. And at this point, I'm not very busy. I got fuck on my watch. And the fact that I'm not very busy probably comes from living where I work and like not seeing my family and not being a good responsible person. So like I'm down with it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm totally fucking down.
Would you like to get into the news?
I'm there, my bro.
Time for the news.
All right, we're gonna start somber and we're gonna wrap it up happy. Okay. How's that feel? Feels good? Okay.
Yeah.
Isao Takahata, the co-founder of Studio Ghibli, the director of Grave of the Fireflies, has passed away. This week is a very sad week.
That was rough. I actually read somewhere that my boy Hayao Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm. He's feeling.
Yeah, he was just like, dog, I can't believe it. I can't believe my bro's gone.
Yeah.
Real talk, though. Moment of silence for the homie. All right, man. He'll be missed without a doubt. He is a huge part of history for anime. To be one of the co-founders of something as amazing as Ghibli. Like, come on now.
Yeah, there is so much shit that has come out of that. Like, definitely Studio Ghibli is the biggest influence of people watching anime in the West, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. So it's a bummer. He was an older guy. Shit happens. It sucks. It really does suck.
And it's going to start happening a lot of these.
Yeah, man, all these really good OGs. Yeah,
yeah.
It's fucking. Oof. Thank God we got fucking Krasinski. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of do, but I haven't seen A Quiet Place yet, so I'm excited to see some Krasinski.
Thank God we got Krasinski, dog.
Thank God we got Krasinski.
Thank God.
Hey, you want to talk about more news?
Yeah, it's more news.
All right, let's get happier.
Let's get happy.
I don't know if you knew this, but last season was a fucking garbage time to be a Netflix user.
Yeah, sure was.
Because we weren't watching Violet Evergarden with the rest of the world.
We sure weren't, which was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I thought you might feel that way, so I got good news for you now.
Let's hear it.
We could watch it. We're in the United States, and we could watch Violet Evergarden.
I mean, we could have watched it before we changed our IP for Netflix.
Yeah, we didn't want to be like a naughty boy, though.
No. Plus, I got shit to do. That being said, aren't we watching Violet Evergarden for next week's episode?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we are. And it's got an English sub, so you just pound through that bitch.
Fuck yeah. And I got a little extra for you.
Give it to me.
It's getting a new anime. Violet Evergarden is getting a new anime. People don't know what it is, but that's what it's being called. A lot of speculation that it might be an OVA. What do you think about this after watching all of Violet Evergarden next week?
I would say it's probably a pachinko machine.
Okay.
And
I like it.
And a 2-part prequel, sequel, live action film. That's just off the top of my head.
I'm just hoping that it's those things because we haven't had that in a while.
If it's not the second one, it's for sure a pachinko machine.
Oh yeah, you know it. So yeah, that's pretty cool for people that haven't seen it yet, which is I'm assuming a lot of people, but who knows? Maybe people are eager enough to go and download it. But I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but in this day and age, Crunchyroll is fucking free, so people could watch anime all the goddamn time.
Free with commercials though, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
But it's still a free service.
Still free. Yeah, no, it's free.
So anybody that has it, that's wonderful. You don't have to watch commercials. People that don't still have an easy way to watch anime. But back in the day, we used to have to just find our anime on sketchy websites and whatnot.
Or Toonami.
Or fucking Toonami, which is also a great source of anime.
Once a week, though. Yeah, that was such a shit show.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, man. Remember that show you watched? We're watching it again.
So, anyways, it's wonderful that we have it now on Netflix. Some people might have still found other ways to watch it, but I was being a patient little young man, and I'm happy I am. Next up, My Hero Academia Season 3 is going to be 25 episodes long, motherfuckers. Woo!
Woo! Yeah! A Quiet Place. Woo! Get it. I'm super stoked for this, man. I love fucking My Hero Academia.
Good. You're going to have to edit that audio
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
a motherfucker.
It's cool. I'll figure it out.
All right, I got 2 little pieces of news for you. So there's going to be a TV anime adaptation of Kanko Nakamura's manga series, Uchi no Maid ga Uzasugiru, which I don't know if you know this or not, but it's going to begin in October. It's the Doga Kobo guy.
Why does that sound so familiar? What's the what's that biz about?
So there's a little girl, and she's got a weasel on her head, and she's sweating, and there's a maid with an eye patch.
Oh my god. I have no idea what that is. I have no clue what that is.
Dude, you fucking got me with that one. You got me.
For a second, you're like, what the fuck is Juan watching?
I forgot about this manga.
Oh my
I
god,
thought it was
it's
going
my
to be one of
childhood.
those things.
It's like Ultimate Muscle. They're like fucking right here. You
Man,
fucking,
that's how I met Sierra.
oh my god.
Some weird
That's
shit.
how we fell in love. Yeah.
Nah, it's nothing.
Anyways, good for
we'll
what-
fucking
yeah.
find out what's up with that Doga Kobo. They did the fucking all the things that I'm thinking about right now that I can't think of the names. The Angels Demons show, Maids,
Ooh, Angels Demons show. Gabriel Dropout.
Boom. And they also did the Maids one, the Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
Oh, damn it. I was about to say that. I
Miss
was about to say
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. So yeah, they're doing some cute ass shit, and this looks like some more of that, but with like other themes in it. So yeah.
Now that you brought up Kobayashi Dragon Maid, do you have Pinterest?
No.
I have Pinterest for school or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's good to like acquire some reference images and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Pinterest is this thing where it's just like, hey, tell us what some of your interests are. Sure, Pinterest, I got you. Anime, comic books, movies, technology, whatever, just like stuff. I don't know, because I have 2 Pinterest accounts. One's one that I've had for a while, and ones that I started just for school. My Pinterest account that I've had for a while is pretty much just like things I've been saving for a bit. My school one, not so much. My school one is like suggesting the weirdest fucking shit. It's like, hey, you like anime, right? It's like, yeah, check out this cool animation. Boom, check out the chick with big tits. Boom, check out the Kobayashi Dragon Maid chick. Not the Dragon Maid, just the main girl, but all sexy and naked. I was like, what is this?
You know what it is?
I know what it is. But I just like, why is it doing it to me? Why do they think that that's what I want in my life?
Because all your other likes are like High School of the Dead. Oh,
that is not true. Oh my god, I haven't liked a single High School of the Dead thing. Plus, you don't like things on Pinterest; you pin them.
Pin. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares?
Shows what you know, dweeb.
I'm a fucking nerd. Okay, I don't use those Pinterests because pretty much to me, Pinterest is like the homemaker.
It is. Exactly. It's like the stay-at-home mom. Like, I found this on Pinterest. This casserole recipe was on Pinterest.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I bought a shitload of doilies so that I could use all the Pinterest things that I've pinned.
There was this girl I worked with at the TV station that said, like, yeah, I don't really know how to cook, but like, I'll just like put all the ingredients I have on my Pinterest, and it shows me what to cook, like a recipe. I was like, oh my god, that is not true. That is not how that works.
That's very weird. But there are websites that do that.
Yeah, no, there are.
Pretty
but it's not
cool.
Pinterest. You don't like write cucumbers, sour cream, fucking white bread, and it goes like, oh, why don't you have some cucumber sandwiches? It doesn't do that for you.
No, it does not do that.
No. Anyways,
I got one more piece of news.
Let's hear it.
And it's a fun one.
Ugh.
So this isn't like new news, but this is news to me, probably news to you. Makoto Shinkai, our boy,
Yeah,
the new Miyazaki,
new Miyazaki
has an asteroid named after him.
What? Is it called the Makoto Shinkai? Or is it called Shinkai or Makoto? What's it called?
Whatever.
That's awesome. An asteroid?
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's cool. Shout out to him. If you could have anything named after you, what would it be? The child doesn't count. Yeah, gotcha.
Somebody's penis.
So
it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a homeless man. It could be like.
So it's just like, hey baby, you ready to get down? And she's just like, yeah, I can't wait for this. Like, ready to see my Christopher William triplet. And she's just like, oh my god, please let me see your Christopher William triplet.
I was hoping it was 2 dudes, but yeah, that works.
You're fine. Here we go again. Okay. Hey baby. it's just the same thing. Just one guy's more gruff.
Yeah, I want like a nice bear to be ready for Christopher. This is getting way more gay than like I am.
That's pretty good, though. That's a good answer. Good job.
What about you?
If I could have something named after me, okay, let's see. It's got to be something. It's gonna be something lame. It's gonna be like
a disease. Just like what? Why?
No, it'd be like some sort of new like artistic technique or whatever. It's like, oh, you can really see the Jose Juan Uriarte here, and like, oh yeah, it really contrasts. Yeah, it's very it's very Juan Uriarte of him.
It's when you stroke up and down with the paintbrush at the same time.
No, it's when you start crying on the canvas and then you just throw up on it.
Oh man, you can see the passion here.
Yeah. Look at all these tear marks and puke. Yeah.
Oh man, this is a classic Uriarte.
Classic Uriarte. That's so fucking derivative.
I don't have any more news, so I'm very happy with ending on that.
Cool, man. Okay, so this is a good episode. We usually do 4 times a year, right? Because it's the fucking wrap up of the winter?
Yep,
winter season of 2018. I forgot.
Whoa. I was like, bro, where are we going right now? Are we traveling? Are we going through time?
I forgot what year it was. But yeah, so every time a season comes out, we do a preview when we watch everything, and then we'll do a wrap up at the end. And this time we'll review the things that we stuck through with and watched all of, because it's hard to watch everything we said we were going to watch.
So in a way, this is very spoiler heavy.
Yeah, huge spoilers.
But in another way, it's not,
because it's over, it's just like, I can't believe you spoiled that. Good fucking whoop-de fucking dude. There's a whole new season of anime that just started. Watch that.
And since it's this is more of a hefty episode, we're gonna try to not get into every detail of the plot or anything.
Yeah, we'll just say what the show is about, what we think about it, and what we did or didn't like.
And usually there are shows that we've seen all of, but we don't have too much to say. So we'll just kind of talk about the ones that need to be talked about and other ones that don't so much. So we'll kind of just start off.
For sure. Plus, we don't have that many to talk about, because this season was a fucking dumpster fire.
I mean, okay.
In my opinion.
I watched several shows that I really enjoyed.
All garbage. All trash. None of them were good.
So for this, we only watched a few shows all the way through, because there were a lot of bad ones, but there are also some really good ones that outshone the rest. We're not talking about every show of the season like I joked about earlier, but here's how we're going to do it at first. We're going to go back and forth with shows that I've seen, shows that you've seen, but not both of us. And then we're going to kind of get closer and closer to shows that we've seen.
We've both seen.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. Okay, cool. So let's start it off.
We're going to talk about After the Rain by Wit Studio. They made things like Attack on Titan and The Ancient Magus Bride. So I went into the show. First off, I was like, oh, it's pretty. And it's got kind of an original feeling story, I guess, where you have this girl. She's a nice young lady. She's a fine woman. She's working. She's going to school.
How old?
She's doing her thing. I'm going to say 17.
Cool, nice.
She's getting ready to go to college and whatnot.
Nice.
And her whole thing is she used to be a runner. She used to be a fucking good runner, but she had an accident at some point. She had to have surgery done to her Achilles heel, so she can't run as well. And tendon. She needs to Achilles tendon, whatever.
It's I gotta go for it.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what it's called. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It is. I mean, the Achilles heel is the different term, but it's on the
different thing.
Everyone knows it's different. It's a different thing, but it's the same thing.
Anyway, keep going.
Long story short, she can't run, so she's given up that dream, and she's lost some friends because of that, one of her best friends. So it goes back and forth between them and their relationship, and she is head over heels crushing on her manager at the restaurant that she works at. Juan's being gross right now. He's doing some naughty gestures at me.
I killed him, got him.
I just didn't see it coming.
Sexy stuff, yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, she's macking on her fucking boss.
On her boss, yeah.
Who's a grown-ass adult.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a little bit weird, but I liked all the characters a lot, so I was like, okay, this show's first off fucking gorgeous, and it's pretty charming. Overall, it wound up being less of a show about their relationship and more of a show about self-growth and what they each want with their own lives, because the boss is pretty oblivious to her feelings until she starts admitting them. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I mean,
you're a child.
I like you, but... in a way where we're friends. And then she's like, oh my God, we're friends. This is the best.
Oh, she wasn't upset she got hit with the friend zone?
She wanted anything.
Wow, that's sad.
Not so much. They hung out a few times. They would do certain things together. Like they went and they had like lunch or something once, and they went to a book fair, and they did little things. He recommended books to her, and she would really enjoy them, and it was just a whole back and forth thing with that. Turns out that he used to be a writer, but he had to give that up to focus on his family. Yeah. And he wound up getting a divorce, and like this whole process happened. So he's kind of lost that part of himself, that writer self. But he wound up reconnecting with an old friend who's like a famous author. And it's a lot about him like finding what he wants inside of himself. And then she's finding what she wants inside of herself, which she thought that she wanted a relationship. But then it kind of turns into something more, where she realized that there was an aspect of herself that she was missing, and she just wanted a connection with somebody. She used to like have a best friend, but ever since she stopped running, they kind of had a little bit of a falling out. And so they meet up a few times, and then she starts realizing, like, you know what, like this isn't actually what I want. I just want friendship. And they're both still friends, but they're kind of going their own ways at the end. It was a really good ending. I'm like, I don't care how it ends, but I know that they're not going to end up together.
And you're okay with that?
Mm-hmm. I'm very okay. So I had a really good time with the show. It's not something I would recommend to like many people, but if you're looking for like a charming, sweet time, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a pretty good show. After the Rain. Out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7-ish, maybe 6.5.
I didn't watch the show. I just watched the first 2 or whatever episodes. But very pretty show.
Oh yeah, gorgeous.
Very, very pretty show. Witsu is amazing. They make great shit. So
absolutely,
not surprised at all.
Cool.
What's next?
So next up, you're going to tell me about Katari Jozu no Takagi-san. It's by Shin-Ei Animation, who made stuff like Sweetness and Lightning, Tonari no Seki-kun, The Master of Killing Time, so on.
Can you tell me what show this is? It's got a funny name. Is that the boy and the girl one?
It sure is.
Nailed it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're starting off romantic.
Okay, so this show is about... I think they're middle school. 2 middle school students that are friends, kind of, in quotations. And the big joke of the whole thing is it's a funny show. It's supposed to be a funny show. I think it's kind of funny. It's more like charming. But the thing is, the girl likes to tease the boy, like in just any ways. And the boy is very easily like flustered. It comes to like stuff like making him just blush from like saying things, that aren't that like blush worthy in my opinion, but I can remember like as like a younger kid, like, holy shit, that would embarrass the shit out of me. Obviously this girl has feelings for him, but it's not clear to the main character because he's a stupid teenage boy. The boy eventually finds out that he also has feelings for the girl, and it's a really good show in my opinion. I loved the way it looks. The style was very, it wasn't very common. Like it wasn't like chibi, it wasn't super anime. It definitely had its own style. I watched most of this series dubbed, and I thought it had a very good English dub. I think the voice actor for the show was the voice actor for like Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist. I didn't look it up, but I just remember hearing his voice sounds really familiar. And yeah, like the every episode was broken up into chunks, like kind of like little bits. So it'd be like this episode.
I think it was based on a 4-koma manga.
No, it's not a 4-koma manga. It's a manga for sure. I've read bits of the manga because I used to do this thing every now and then when I'd go to whatever some illegal manga reading site or whatever.
Manga Fox.
Manga Fox, or like readmanga.com or something like that, and hit the random button just because like I wouldn't know what to read. And I would just like read stuff for a bit, like, oh, this is shit. This one I read for a bit, and I read a few chapters of it, and I was like, this is pretty charming. But then I realized, it's kind of like the same thing. There wasn't really a plot to it. It's just kind of like a feel good thing. And the anime is very similar. There's no real plot besides the fact that their relationship and their bond like gets stronger, and they start caring for each other more by the end of the show. But honestly, no episode really like comes after the other, except for like, it's spring break now it's not spring break or whatever, now it's winter break. I really liked it. And I don't know if I'd recommend this to anybody, just because I don't know who would like it besides me, because I'm one of my huge like favorite things to watch is anything
young romance.
Young romance. Like, and that's like stupid young romance, like that middle school, high school, just like that very innocent love that makes no sense for reasons. Like things are like tiny things are the end of the world, and shit like, oh, he didn't text me, and it's like, oh, what a fucking monster, stuff like that. It always resonates with me.
I'm so glad that shit doesn't happen anymore.
Oh no, because I'm an adult now. I'm like, thank God, tell me what the problem is. Let's fucking figure this out.
Right.
But back in the day, like, that was like the end of the world. Like, oh my God, she didn't even look at me during lunch once. Like, we sat across, didn't look at me once, like stuff like that.
She texted you, but she didn't text me.
But she left me on red. Yeah, that being said, I don't think the show is for. I don't think you'd like it in particularly.
I had a fun time watching the first episode.
I don't think you'd watch all of it.
Yeah, no, the thing with it, like you were saying before, is it is a lot of the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of the same jokes get used over.
But man, that art style is fucking good.
Yeah, and
I like it.
Something else is pretty cool. They also had really good like side characters. They had these 3 girls that were always kind of just tagging along and being friends, and I actually really liked the design for them. And whenever they'd pop up, I'd be like, at first I was like, where the fuck are we seeing these bitches?
Yeah, like, who gives a shit?
And then I'm like, you know what? It's a good change of pace from what we regularly saw. One thing I would say is that every now and then they kind of would. It almost felt like they were trying to sexualize like the girl. And it's just like, and that's just like how anime does that thing where it's just like, oh, it's a girl, who she's in her swimsuit or whatever,
I just kind of like, okay, well, this is not for me.
But then I remembered the bit where it's like, oh right, she's being like promiscuous, but towards this other kid. It's like she's teasing the boy in this reason, and I can see people seeing that in a creepy way. Like if someone were to walk in a scene like that, I'd be like, God,
you don't want anyone to walk in. I
hate explaining shit like that.
But then it's like, yo, I was 13. I fucking know how this goes.
Yeah, no. They're like, oh my God, boobs are the best, or stuff like what'd you say?
Bobbles,
that's right, bobbles. I like how you looked at me like I was an idiot. Like,
bobbles, please, big old boppers.
Yeah, like there's like one of the earlier jokes of the show was, she, in the early episodes, like he wasn't swimming because he had a cut on his foot. She wasn't swimming for some other reason, and she.
Oh, we all know the other reason. It's the same reason that everyone used.
So she was like, all right, can you guess why I'm not swimming? And his 2 guesses were like, oh, I think she's on her period, but I don't want to say that because that's kind of weird,
Yeah.
I'm going to say she's insecure about her boobs or whatever. No, it's too weird. So he ends up going with the period thing. She goes like, you're wrong. And then she takes off her shirt and she's like, I just want to tease you. I'm going to go swim. And she's like, oh, by the way, I'm also not insecure about my boobs. A bitch. I was just like, oh, bitch. The end of the show is really sweet though. He sends he gives her back like a handkerchief, like a handkerchief that she gave him in the past. That they actually met each other off of because they had to move seats. They sat right next to each other,
right?
And they moved seats, and he made the effort to try to sit next to her, but it failed. And then he's really depressed. And then she made the effort to switch seats with him, and she's super happy. Anyways, in the handkerchief it says like, "Hey, thanks for letting me borrow this. It's really sweet, whatever." And she gets frazzled. She gets because he's always trying to make her blush and make her feel like uncomfortable and embarrassed. And he finally did it. For the second time. Once he did it before, he said something like, oh, I like walking home with you. And while he wasn't there, she blushed, which I was like, nice. And in the very end, she blushes because she gets the note. And I was like, she starts kicking her legs on her bed. I'm like, oh man, what a cute show. Great show. Really liked it. If I had a 10, for me, I don't know, probably like a 7 or 8. Like really
nice.
Really
that's good. I'm glad that you had such a good time with it.
Liked it a lot. What's next?
We're going to talk about the Junji Ito collection by Studio Dean, who did Konosuba, Fate Stay Night, stuff like that. So they got a very wide palette.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch all this or just all me?
This is you, man. Okay. I watched most of the first half. So then I gave it a little rest. I
watched all 13 of them. I think the guy is named Junji Ito, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like a very well-known manga artist who writes horror mangas or whatever. You might know him from stories like Spiral,
Yeah.
That's probably his best well-known one.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's just a collection of all his scary stories. And the problem with this show is that they're spooky. Don't get me wrong. They're really creepy and unsettling. Some of them are well-written than others. Some of them are I feel like culturally, if I was Japanese, I'd be more scared of it,
Yeah.
But because I'm American or whatever, I'm just like, I guess that's kind of scary or whatever.
Right.
But the biggest issue with the show was the animation was really shit. And I mean, they're kind of going for this style with cross-hatching and stuff or whatever. And it was it just wasn't working for me. I watched all of them because I really wanted to see them do a rendition or episode about Spiral. They never did, which really bummed me out.
The other one that's really popular, the Holes? Mountain one, Holes.
Yeah, they didn't do that one either.
Okay, I figured. Yeah,
they did the one where which is I think probably his third most well-known one, unless there's this other one. It's the one where there's a witch, like a neighbor, and her window keeps getting closer and closer to the boys. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, super creepy. Really good episode. Episodes I like that were highlights. There's an episode where like there's a character that has like a cursed jade, and there's like they keep getting holes in their body.
Yeah.
And they're super cold. It's called Shiver, and it's really unsettling just because there's that fear of like holes that people have.
Yeah.
Super gross. There's one.
Yeah.
There's one where a guy, his dreams were lasting longer and longer. Like he would sleep normally, but like his dreams would be years, and he just like it was so fucked up. It was so scary.
You know, the thing is the animation and the pacing and stuff feel weird. Like that episode, it felt very strange.
It did feel weird, but I liked it because it really spooked me.
The idea is really like that's
really,
the thing. All
really
these concepts, all the things are they're eerie. They're cool ideas. I'm a horror junkie, but I stopped it because the animation was not compelling.
I'm not the hugest fan of horror, honestly. But I'm like, I know who the guy is. I know he has like this repertoire. I was like, let's check it out. And the last one was this image that I've seen floating on the internet every now and then. I see it as a meme or like just like a weird thing. It's just this. You've probably seen it. This Asian kid like pushing his face together and like just shit's pouring like out of his like pores onto some girl's face.
Yeah,
they did an episode of that. What it is like it's Greece. So like his family lives above where his dad works in a restaurant where they make meat or whatever, and everything's just greasy. And like the brother would like drink grease because like he would just like it. And then the dad kills the brother and serves the meat up, and it's delicious. And so the dad was also like force feeding the daughter grease to serve her to her customers. It was
gnarly as
really
fuck.
fucked up. But honestly, I didn't know that was going to be there. So I was like, oh, when it showed up, I was like, God, what? Like that image has always scared me. That image animated, fucking disgusting. That being said, Junji Ito, I think, is a manga writer or whatever. Has great artwork. Sadly, this show is just animation's pretty shit. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Out of 10, I'd be like a 4 or 5.
Yeah, they usually do like 2 stories per episode.
2 or 3, yeah. Sometimes they're really short. Near the latter half of the show, like of the series, of the season or whatever, there was an even split between like one or like most episodes were like 12 minutes each. They're also doing 2 OVAs that are going to come out pretty soon, and they're about his first written piece of work, which was about some chick who like makes artists obsessed with her because she's like impossible to capture her beauty, and they'll kill her. Yeah, but every time they kill her, she'll like split up and like she will regrow. So, and they did that bit like in an episode, but it was only like for half an episode. So they're going to do 2 OVAs dedicated to specifically her. So. Which is cool or whatever.
Is that the modeling one? Is that
no? The modeling one is
so that was a different. Okay.
No, the modeling one.
Did they change the idea?
No, the modeling was weird with this chick with really like long teeth and scary. Now this girl's like she's really cocky. She's like, oh, can you like capture my beauty? And people try to capture her beauty and they become obsessed with trying to capture her beauty to the point where they kill her. And when they kill her, like, they'll chop her up in pieces. Like every bit that gets chopped up just regrows another body part and comes back to life. It's kind of creepy. Anyways, yeah, that's about it.
Fun stuff. So I'm going to talk about pretty briefly for this one, Black Clover, made by Studio Pierrot, who did or Pierrot, I don't know.
Whatever, however you pronounce it.
Whatever. They made things like Tokyo Ghoul, Naruto, Bleach, a whole bunch of the long-running type shows. So Black Clover, we're on like the second part, like the second season kind of for this one. And it grew on me a little bit more for parts of it. I'm like, ooh, these concepts are pretty fun. Asta gets a second sword. The whole idea of the show is people get these grimoires that let them do magic and shit. Our main character can't do any magic. Normally you could do them like a little bit of magic without a grimoire, but then the grimoire like really enhances your power and gives you a whole set of spells and stuff to use. Asta doesn't have any abilities. He sucks. And then he gets this Black Clover grimoire from like some demon or some shit that lets him use a big ass sword that cuts through magic, and he could reflect it. And he's just like a kick ass little boy and absorb the power and whatnot. Anyways, second season, there's a big ass fight in town, and you meet a lot of the people that are like from the other houses. He got put into one. You meet more, and they're all kind of interesting in their own ways, but most people are pompous and just suck dick, and they're not super interesting. But there's some that I'm like, oh, I want to see more of them. He gets a second rival, so that's always a good time.
Is that the guy?
No.
Oh, nice. I like that guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess he has 3 rivals then.
Yeah.
So he's got the actual one, the guy with the weird ass laugh, and then the spunky little fire boy who's on another team.
Cool.
yeah. And he's just like, oh, fuck, you're a lot of fun. Yeah, you're going to be my rival now, and we're going to have so much fun together. It's going to be a blast. And then, I don't know. It's just, they go through some, like, undead fights, and the whole town's on fire and shit. And the season, like, finale or whatever, the, like, spring or... I don't even know what to say. Long story short, he meets the Wizard King, which is the guy in charge of everything. They meet a couple of times, and then this time he's like, oh, funny that I run into you again, Asta. Like,
again,
you want to be the Wizard King? All right, I'll pay fucking close attention to all the shit I do. And he teleports everywhere and blows everyone up, and he's like, see, that's how you be the Wizard King. Peace.
Nice.
Yeah. Long story short, it's okay. I don't want to write home about it or anything.
But you're invested.
Yeah, I'm pretty much invested. I'm like, I know how long the show's going to run. I want to see how it gets to the end. I want to see what the end is. And pretty much what I've seen so far is some episodes have really cool, great animation. They focus on some fun characters and whatnot. But there are other episodes that are boring and not much happens. And the animation sucks. And it's like 5 minutes of recap. And it's a regular ass shonen at times. There's like My Hero Academia, which has incredible animation, just really cool characters. Every part of it's a blast. That's how you make a shonen. And then there's Black Clover, which has some cool concepts, some cool ideas, cool characters, but not everything is cool, and it's not always fun to watch.
Yeah, cool, man. I fell off this show. I mean, I don't know. Asta got kind of too annoying for me, and I was just kind of over it. There's other things I wanted to watch, and I mean, I know it's only 50 episodes, so I might get back to it sometime. But I'm in no hurry to get back to that world.
Yeah.
I might check out the dub just because I listened to it for a second. It's not terrible, and maybe that'll make it easier to watch, anyways.
All right, cool. Well, I wasn't going to talk about this show until later, but I think that we should probably talk about it now since you haven't finished it. We're going to talk about A Place Further Than the Universe, which is made by Madhouse, who's done things like Death Note, One Punch Man, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, just like a ton of different great shows and movies. How much of this did you watch?
All of one episode.
You watched one episode. Okay.
I had all the intentions to binge this shit, and then school hit me, and I was like, damn it, not going to happen. But
it's a shame.
From what I've heard, it's amazing.
This is a show that I recommend you watch. I think this is a show for everybody. People that don't normally like dramas or high school shows or whatever the fuck, goddamn love this show. First off, it looks incredible. It is a fantastic looking show. You could tell it from the first episode. You're like, some things are pretty. And then we get into more action based scenes where the girls are running through town and they're being chased by some other women. And it's fucking gorgeous. You're like, okay, I could tell that a lot of work went into these little actions that definitely didn't need to be there. And because mostly you could tell from high action scenes, like how good the quality of the animation is. Everything else is like, oh yeah, this is good animation. Like it looks really pretty. But then when you see it in effect, it's a whole different level. So first off, fantastic, fucking amazing animation. Second off, the music, charming, always fits the scene. It's emotional at times, and they really, really drive it home with the music. Nothing was particularly like memorable to me. I'm not like, oh yeah, man, the theme song's great. Oh, the outro is fucking fantastic. But like, it's good. It fits the theme of the show, and it's really good. And then we get into the characters, and we have so many different characters that are doing different things. The whole plot of the show is this girl wants to go to Antarctica really bad, and we don't really have a main character. We have several people that we follow around, but they're like kind of two main, I guess. One girl, she doesn't have any drive. She doesn't know what she wants to do, and she's kind of lost. So she decides like, oh, fuck, this girl really wants to go to Antarctica. I'm going to help her with it. I'm going to go to Antarctica. We're going to have a great time. We're going to Antarctica, motherfuckers. So she gets all gung-ho. That girl that wants to go to Antarctica wants to go there to see her mom. Her mom has gone to Antarctica, and she's like, I gotta go see my mom's. So that's her whole drive. And then the other two girls, one of them works with the main girl who doesn't have any drive or whatever, and she's just like, yep, I feel similarly. Let's do something. Let's do something fucking different. I am down. Not necessarily like, yeah, I just gotta, I don't have any direction. It's more so like, things aren't always great, and I want to do something new. Like, let's do something very new. And then they meet one more girl. They're trying to find the funding so that they can support the people that are going to Antarctica so that they could be a part of it. It's a whole number of things that have to happen. And then somehow they wind up finding this like idol. She sings, she acts, she's the it girl pretty much. They meet her, and she's also in high school. She's a little bit younger than them, and she wants to join them. She's like, yeah, screw it. Let's do it. I want to get away from this life. It's not always great. It's fucking exhausting. And they all have their own personal journeys to go on. I don't want to spoil much about it. I just have to tell you that it is great. There were several episodes that made me tear up. There were some really, really powerful moments. The last 2 episodes got me good. There were so many charming parts. What I can tell you is they go to Antarctica. They fucking do it. And all the things that happen throughout are entertaining to watch. You're like, okay, I want to see how they do this. And then you're seeing how they do it, like almost immediately. They start on their trip. They go to Australia because they have to go to Australia. It's the closest point to ship off of to get to Antarctica for them. I don't know if you know this. I learned a little bit about Antarctica through watching this and through other means. But
did not know anything about Antarctica.
Back in World War II, we had to designate different regions of Antarctica for different countries.
Because of
the war or some shit. People are still arguing over different things.
Oh, like who owns it?
Yeah, who owns what. So each country was given an area that they can go to at any point in time to research. If you wanted to go somewhere else, you have to make arrangements and whatnot. So Japan has this little slice that's on the other side of the world, pretty much. They have to go to Australia and then like kind of boat around a lot of Antarctica in order to get to Japan's place. And then they have to go through a bunch of ice and stuff in order to make it to the actual land that they're able to set foot on and start researching and whatnot.
I think I might have known that. I think I walked in on an episode of Sarah watching like that.
I don't remember it saying that specifically.
I'm saying like they were talking about like, oh, we got to go through this section because of some bullshit. Yeah,
pretty much. So yeah, that whole thing, you see all the different things that they have to do. There's a lot of different stuff. They have a lot of fun with the things. They come with a few problems, and they have really strong supporting characters. Everyone in the show is fucking fantastic. It's just a show that you should watch. Everyone should watch this show. I think it's great. People that don't normally like these drama type shows, that normally like more action based shows, have come out of this absolutely loving it. It's a great time.
Is there any love in the show?
In some ways,
like boy and girl love.
In some ways,
ooh,
but it's not at all focused on that. It's more so crushing.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't love you back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, it's not like that. It's like somebody has a crush on somebody else. It's more a thing. Yeah.
I mean, like crushing, like it's devastating.
No. Like, who gives a shit? That's not even a focus. That's like a side character type thing. This guy has a crush on this girl. Oh, man, just to meet your feelings. Like, oh,
is it the idol girl?
Well, somebody likes her, but doesn't have a crush on her because he's a full grown ass man.
Oh, nice.
And
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, there's a point. It's like in the last episode, I think, where he's like getting nervous and the girls are all about to leave and they're doing the like send off thing. And then his buddy's just like, man, just go fucking talk to her. And the dude's like, oh man, I'm just so nervous. Then he comes up with the CD and he's like, hey, I just want to tell you before you leave, like, I really like your work and I like what you do. And I'm just really glad that we were able to work together. She's like, thanks. Just like kind of surprised that somebody this far out would do that, and who she's like kind of, there are a lot of people, so they haven't all worked together, but she's like doing the same thing as him, and it's a different thing to work with like a colleague who winds up being a fan of you.
That is interesting. I've never had a colleague be a fan of me.
Bro.
Are you a fan of me?
I'm a fan of everyone. I'm all about that friendship.
Fucking nailed it, guys.
Anytime you put out any animation, I'm all about that.
Nice.
I'm crazy into you.
Oh, stop it. Anyways, out of 10, what would you give the show?
9.5. It wasn't the perfect show, but holy shit, it was great.
That's really close.
Yeah. I just reflect back on it with positive memories in every single part of the show, every aspect. They take some really, really funny moments and they just like go with it. It's great. One of my favorite things that happen in the whole show, because they do this a few times, they know exactly when to cut a scene. The first moment that I was like, oh, fuck, this is hilarious, was, they're all planning on going to Antarctica, but they don't know how exactly they're going to do it yet, and it's a thing they've planned for a bit. Well, now they get to the point where it's, like, actually going to happen. So one of the characters hasn't told her parents about it. She hasn't told her family or anything, but other people know. So word gets out to her parents, and she's gonna go try to break the news, kind of. But then her mom starts giving a bunch of hints, like she's bought these Antarctica like styled frozen popsicles, and she's bringing up some like weird shit and like talking about things vaguely while she's like chopping vegetables, not staring at her daughter, and her daughter's like feeling weird and stuff. And she's like, she slowly like brings up like, so I was thinking about, and she's like, yeah, one of the neighbors already told me about that. So what about that shit? And like, she's like, oh God. And she starts like trying to back out, and she's like trying to go for the door and stuff. And the mom's just coming at her with like a big old ladle. It's going to beat the shit out of her. And she's at the door, and then her dad's walking in with like groceries and stuff. And he's like, I'm home. And she's like, Dad, help. And he's just like, and slowly backs out and like locks the door, and he's holding it, and he's like crying. He's just like, I'm so sorry, daughter. As like she's like screaming, and the mom's like about to hit her or whatever, and then it just cuts the scene like,
oh, nice.
I'm so sorry. Like, done. It was fucking hilarious. It caught me off guard. It was like, oh man, this is going to be a difficult conversation, but then they turn it into a really humorous thing. And that's the thing with the show. They have a lot of really funny moments, a lot of fun, and then they have a lot of gut punching, like, oh man, this is going to be intense.
Right in the balls, huh?
I get you. I love it. You should watch it. You're going to have a great time.
I will watch it. I just, I didn't get the chance to, but I'll check it out.
I don't know if you know this, but it made your girlfriend cry, and she doesn't cry for shit.
I've never seen her cry over any form of cinema ever, so.
It's pretty real.
Yeah.
Pretty good shit. All right, so why don't we talk about a little show called Overlord Season 2.
Okay, here we go.
It's made by Madhouse as well.
Sequel to Overlord Season 1.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this show continues where the last show
ended, I guess, kind of.
Obviously, and
the whole idea is guy gets sucked into a game. Everyone becomes real in the game, but he's the only actual real person. Yeah,
and he's his goal is to try to fucking make the name of Einzun Gold, which was Einzun Gold.
Yeah,
which is the name of his, like, what was his clan?
Yeah.
Spread the entire nation. So if anybody else is stuck in the game like he is, they can try to reach out to him or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I was really excited for this. I was kind of disappointed with the season.
Yeah. The thing with this is I think they were trying to do too many things. Yeah. Similar to how Game of Thrones focuses on a lot of different little areas, and it has so many different characters to manage. Mm-hmm. Well, they brought in a shitload of those characters this season. Way too many. But we didn't have enough time to explore each one of them, and they didn't make it interesting enough to start with.
Yeah.
There were a lot of moments that I was also kind of feeling like, didn't hit the same way that the first season hit.
Yeah, like, they introduced, first off, right off the bat, they introduced the lizard people. I was like, oh, cool, fucking, humanoid, not human characters, that's great. And then they introduce fucking, this fucking, he's a knight that protects his princess, who's a psycho person. Everybody calls her psychotic. We don't know why.
She's great.
We get past characters like the guy that the main character saved, in a previous battle, and we also see the kid that got his shit rocked when he was fighting the vampire, from first season. They're reoccurring. We also get a new band of like it's like a group of, they're like a clan of like fucking, I don't know, fighters, and they're all women. There's like a big old butch one that's like a ninja, one that's a wizard, and one that's just like the boss. Whatever.
And they defend the kingdom as well. Same with that little knight guy.
So and obviously we have all and then we have fucking, I think his name was it. I don't fucking remember his name, but he's the butler, and he has his arc, whatever, where he's taking down fucking the 8 fingers or whatever.
Butler story was my favorite.
Good. So the thing is, there's a lot of fucking like pots on the stove right now. And, it's like when you're trying to make too much fucking, I don't know, sauce or something like that. Dude, just stick to a couple.
Lizardman, I was really interested in
Lizardman.
It ended pretty quickly, but it also didn't have the characters that I would have wanted to follow for a while. So I'm glad it ended pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But then they start introducing in all these other characters, and some of them weren't interesting at first. It took a little bit to grow, but I wound up really liking that little Night Kid.
Night Kid was cool. And then
so was Brain. He was tight.
Yeah, Brain was the guy that got fucking made a fool of by the vampire chick.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's so much going on that I didn't really like it. Very minimal,
I feel you. There were a lot of episodes without any action.
Yeah, and there's very I like the main character a lot.
They didn't focus on that shit at all.
They had little bits of him, at the very end of the season, he's sitting down in the chair, like, I'm back. It's like, where the fuck have you been? You've been gone all season. What are you doing?
And all of that shit where he was off doing other stuff for that whole season.
We didn't get to see it.
It was lame because in the first season, the thing that was so compelling is you get to see him making all these things. You're like, oh yeah, I want to follow him. And it's cool. I want to follow these other people too. I want to see the ties that they make and whatnot. But I don't like how long it took for all this to kind of unfold, and I didn't care enough about it.
Show is fine. It still looks good in my opinion. There's some cool fights in it. I don't know. It's just kind of disappointing. I feel like they set it up. When you watch the show, it's just being set up for the next season. I feel like it was a whole season of setup for the next season.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to get a third season.
It is. It already was announced.
People love it. That's great. But in my opinion, fucking Overlord season 1 way better than Overlord season 2. And I mean, there's nothing.
Season 3 kind of brings it home.
There's nothing much more to say to that besides. It's fine. Out of 10, I don't know, fucking 6 or 7.
It was definitely more of a 6. Yeah. The whole deal with this is it made me excited to see what might happen in season 3 because we got done with all the introduction of characters and stuff. We've set shit up. So if they don't start doing stuff in season 3, I don't know what there is in the show for me.
Yeah, for sure. We see all the plots are coming to fucking fruition or some essentially he has his hands in everywhere. He's got the fucking lizard folk, the good people, the bad people. He's all over the place, and he's just gonna end up ruling the world. And I need to see something because I was really bored, essentially.
Absolutely.
Cool. What's next?
We're gonna talk about Darling in the Franxx, which is another thing, which is kind of teetering on who knows. We'll find out this next season of anime. It's gonna continue, so we'll find out more. But it was made by A1 Pictures, who's done Sword Art Online, Erased, a bunch of stuff. Cloverworks, who's only done this and Persona 5 the animation, which is why it wasn't announced that they were really working on it, and Persona 5 is airing right now in spring. And then Trigger, who's made Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia. Yeah. So we have tons of really important hands in this.
This is the thing. We knew about this for a while now because it was that one, that huge announcement, A1 hooking up with Trigger. And the art style is definitely a combination of A1 and Trigger.
It's pretty cool. I love the art. I love the designs of everything.
The animation's fucking clean.
I like all of the characters having their own personalities, and they really mesh well together. It's a very diverse group of people.
Yeah.
We don't know what the plot of the show is.
No, not at all. You'd think after 12 episodes, we'd have some idea what's going on. I still have no fucking idea what the status of the world is. There's been some sort of crisis. They live on these moving things that, these fucking cities that move or whatever. And their job is to protect them in robots. And, it's super sexualized or whatever. It's just,
it's a very, very confusing thing.
Because they're also, the kids don't know anything about relationships or love. It's just I would really... As much as I like being thrown into a world not knowing anything,
you want to know more.
I eventually want to learn something.
So here's the thing with Darling in the Franxx. It's kind of a slow burn. The last 2 episodes, the spring season, first episode, and the last episode of winter season, great. Fantastic fucking killer episodes. They start out and they show you, we got some cool fights in here. But then the fights aren't as good going on. They're just not as compelling, and it's still cool. But it doesn't have the same kind of impact as the first ones do. And this show is not about the robot fights. It's not about that at all. It kind of leads you to believe that it will be, but it's definitely not. So you need to go into it with a different perspective than other shows.
I mean, there are robot fights. There's robots for sure fight, which is cool.
It's rad when it happens.
But I think the fact that it's not about just robots fighting, it's not like all those other mech shows, is the reason I liked it. I was like, wow, this is I've never really been a fan of mechs, but these mechs are cool. And not just because they're chick mechs. So it's the show has its moments where it's oh, it's getting fucking good, and then that ball gets dropped, and then it takes a while for it to get picked back up, and then it's back again to being good, and then it's like, oh, it gets dropped again.
And I think there's reason for that. I mean, when you go into Kill la Kill, it starts out and it's like, I'm Ryuko. I want to get revenge for whoever killed my fucking father.
Exactly.
I'm going to find him. So you have a goal, and then you find out what that is, and they accomplish it, and then you find out that there's more going on. And you're like, oh, okay. And then the same guys that worked on that and this, they worked on Gurren Lagann, which is also like, hey man, there's another world out there. We're going to find it. They find it. And they're like, all right, we're going to be the fucking best, and we're going to figure out what's going on with this new world. And they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then halfway through, it fucking changes, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's the whole thing. And you know what it's about. This, you don't fucking know what it's about. So it starts out, and then once it does drop that ball, it's because it's changing. Mm-hmm. It's shifting to a different idea and a different focus. So I think the show that we're going to get is going to be a lot more like Kisniver, where it starts out and it's like, Kisniver also was made by Trigger, by the way.
It's like the one Trigger thing I haven't seen.
Yeah, it starts out and it's like, oh man, we got like a weird hostage situation where they have to do some like crazy tests in order to get out, otherwise they're all gonna die. Then you find out that they have pain receptors like all attached to them, and you're like, whoa, this is gonna be crazy. But then it just winds up being about like emotions and growth and stuff and being friends, and it changes throughout the course of the show, and it's a very different show in the end than what we started with. And I think that that's going to be what this is, because we are getting into very strange areas, and we're learning more and more about the past of these people and just what's going to happen.
Yeah. So all in all, I like this show. It's not amazing. It's not perfect by any means. Out of 10, 7 or 8, just because of the animation and the fights we see, and the way it looks is really pretty. The story, there needs to be more to it. A lot of it's like you said, it's a slow burn. I'd recommend it to people. I absolutely would, because I think people would like this. But yeah, it's fucking. I'm gonna keep watching it and see where it goes. It hasn't lost my interest as much as Black Clover lost my interest. Yeah.
So for this, I would definitely give it an 8 at this point. There are a lot of moments in it. This is a pretty fun thing going on that Kyle and I did when we're watching it. It has some moments where it's fucking gorgeous, and they do special things to really show you, hey, this is a beautiful scene. They make it like widescreen. They put a couple of black bars on there, or they'll make it like a smaller picture and they'll add another one. Every time that stuff like that happens, we're just like, art, it's art, art. And we just like scream art. It's just a blast, and it's beautiful when they do that shit. Like, we're joking when we're yelling that, but we're
it's pretty.
It's gorgeous. So it looks great. Fantastic characters, great action. They're getting into parts where the story is really interesting, because there was no story at all for a little bit.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of seeing like, okay, something's going on with our main characters, and we need to figure out what is going to happen. And we're learning more about the world, and we're like, okay, so I think this whole system might be going down. It's hard to tell. I'm really excited about the second season. These last 2 episodes have made me so excited. I'm ready to watch more, but it's difficult for me to say like, yeah, watch this, because it has a lot. That's the thing with this. It has so much potential. It has a fuckload of potential, but I don't know if it's going to meet that. So I want to say, join me in watching this, but kind of have a little bit of extra apprehension when you're diving into a show with this kind of direction, which is very different.
Everything you said.
Yeah, me too. Cool.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. I'll have the same.
Let's talk about a show that we have some different opinions on.
Okay.
Kokoku, made by Geno Studio, who is currently doing Golden Kamui.
Golden Kamui. So apparently, golden obviously means
golden. Got you.
And then Kamui and it's not like Japanese. It's Inuit, like the Inuits of Japan or whatever. It means God, so it's Golden God.
Ooh. And then Genocidal Organ.
Never heard of that.
They also made that. They haven't done much. Let's just put it that way. This is such a different show than pretty much any show I've seen, which is, I hold it in really high regards because of that, but I don't really know where I fall on it.
Yeah.
Initially I was thinking like, what, this is like definitely the best show of the season. And then reflecting back, I'm like, it's definitely a place further in the universe.
Yeah.
That is hands down what it is. But this was such a different show that I had some really strong feelings about it while I was watching it. Starts out, has an amazing intro. I'm like, holy fuck, this is rad. I hope this show's good.
The intro song is great. The visuals are fucking... It's just so much fun, the intro.
Yeah. For those of you that haven't seen the show, please look up the intro to Kokoku. It's fantastic. Yeah. And... It starts out, and there's not a whole lot going on that interests me. It's like, okay, there's some family, whatever, who cares? And then one thing leads to another, and they stop time because apparently their family has been blessed with this special rock where they're able to stop time.
Yeah.
Turns out that they have some special powers, too. The grandpa, who's the one who, like, has all of the knowledge about what's going on with this shit. He doesn't know a whole lot, but he knows a thing or two. Mm-hmm. He can teleport to places that he's imagining. So if he envisions it in his head, he could teleport there. But it's fucking clumsy. Yeah. And that's where it gets into why I like this show. The characters all feel more real than most other shows that I've seen in terms of what they do, their capability, like what's going on with them, how they think, how they interact with each other. Because, like, there aren't too many jokes going on because it's fucking serious. Like, yeah, they're stopped in time, and there are people coming after them that are stopping time at the exact same time.
There's people stopped in time when there shouldn't be people stopped in time with them, and they're scared, yeah.
So shit's getting fucked up quick. We get some weird stuff. There are people that protect... those that are frozen in time and cannot move in this like special plane. If those people that aren't involved in this are being attacked, then heralds come. They're giant, freaky, timeless beings that smash
your brains out.
Yeah, they like destroy you and keep you from harming anyone that isn't involved in this.
Yeah,
which is pretty fucking cool. That imagery was like, whoa, there's something crazy that's about to happen in this show.
And then the way it worked too is just like they would only attack you if you were honestly, willingly like going to hurt somebody, like kill somebody.
They're trying to test it out. They're trying to bring one nearby and see if they could get one to like spawn or something. And they're just like, I'm gonna stab him, and then they get close. But they clearly didn't intend to actually stab him because they're trying to get the herald to come. So it needs to be somebody who wants to cause harm. And it's funky. It's cool.
So in the show, essentially, we got, this family who is trying to save some other family members who've been kidnapped. And, throughout the show, they also get awakened. And they're in stasis, in this frozen time. And they get out of frozen time. And, they're trying to escape these cult people, right, who are trying to capture them, and they want their stone. And our main character, the girl, learns she has this power to cleanse people of these things called jellyfish, were essentially like spirit things that like flow inside of you and allow you to be moving in stasis. She has this power to cleanse them, and then they're stuck in that world, but essentially free and can no longer stuck in the stasis. Yeah, and, we see the bad guy. He's, he gets all roided out on these weird jellyfish. Eventually she breaks the rock to save her grandfather, so she's the only one that can set people free. And the ending part of it is she's stuck in stasis alone, and with the baby. That's a whole deal, and, this is a part I liked. I liked a lot that she was stuck in there, and she tried to do her best to like, come to terms with her life. She's like, well, I'm going to be here for a while. And she had to start stealing stuff because she used to, in quotations, pay for things that she would take. She doesn't have any money anymore, so she just take things, and she feels kind of bad about it. And she's working out and trying to stay fit and taking care of baby. Eventually, she releases the baby, sending him back to the real world, essentially. And then she's by herself, and she goes nuts. And then, she's at the end of her rope, and she ends up giving up hope and turning into a herald. Mm-hmm. And then this chick shows up from the very beginning of the show, kind of this whole, it's a whole twist. It's a whole fucking circle, She's like, oh, hey, by the way, like my husband's the one that made those rocks. I'm the guy that, inspired this whole thing. I have all these powers. By the way, you can go home. Here you go. And, you liked this show a lot. I did not care for it as much as you did. I thought there was really cool things about it. Mm-hmm. I thought there was really cool action sequences. I thought it was super cool that she wasn't totally incompetent. The old man obviously had these powers that weren't, fucking precise.
Yeah, they weren't polished.
But it was great because it's like, I also can be like, you're an old man. I don't expect you to be like amazing at what you do, you know? But she quickly learned her power. She wasn't incompetent like many fucking Western media where we see where it's like 5 episodes, somebody learning how to do something like, oh my God, I can do that. She's like, boom, episode and a half. I know how to do all these things.
Yep.
I just fucking, she's got the Byakugan and she's got like the fucking palming chakras and whatnot.
She's smart. That's one of the things that, okay, so here are the reasons that I like the show so much. Characters felt real. There were a lot of characters with flaws. They weren't like fully fleshed out in the way that other shows are. And there's a reason for that. People aren't just going to share fucking everything with the people that they just meet. And this is through like a pretty short period of time where they're in stasis up until that last episode.
Yeah.
Things that I thought were fucking awesome. The fact that they're in stasis, everything stays where it's at. If glass, like a window is broken, all the glass stays in the air. So people would just like be fighting and stuff would be staying in the air. If they're like, you can't shoot, that's clearly not an option.
Or you drop something and it just stays there.
So what I really like this dude doing is he hits a shitload of baseballs at this guy. And he's just like hitting a fuckload of them and they're all just like staying in the air. I just got such a kick out of the way that worked out. Just somebody will drop a knife like in the air and like go to doing something else because they're not afraid. It's not going to hurt them. It's going to stay right where they put it. The fact that everyone has to like drink from bottles and like
and then squirt the water out and drink it kind of like astronauts.
Yeah, astronaut style. Just the world, the attention to detail was incredible with this show, and that's what really, really impressed me. Between like, it was constantly really smart choice on the directors, by the way. It was constantly golden hour, which is the time where everything looks fucking beautiful in movies and stuff and TV. You want to like shoot during that time because it has the best shadows. Everyone looks great. It's essentially like evening.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
So this whole fucking show takes place in that time, and it's almost unsettling in a way, but it's also really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of little elements impressed me throughout it. The fight sequences were some of the best I've seen in any show because they were clumsy. They're not professional fighters. They're regular ass dudes trying to duke it out, and they're barely getting by. And I loved that. The change of heart of certain characters and whatnot, and the reason why they changed it all made so much sense. It wasn't something that I was like, nope, fuck that. The things that did take me out are the same ones that you didn't like.
Yeah.
They did have some anime tropes which shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
it was
like,
just bizarre.
Like the show inherently wasn't anime. It was like, oh man, look at this really cool concept. Look at the style we're going for. We're not going for like an anime heavy kind of show. It's just like, this is a really interesting show.
Oh yeah,
check it out or whatever. But they would do things like, there's this bit where the chick's just like this chick who's in quotations with the bad people, right? Like, she's a bad guy at this point. She goes like, hey, will you help me find this girl? I need to save my family. Please. And he goes like, and the other guy goes like, yeah, I'll help you, but you gotta let me fuck you, you know? And then she does this thing where like her face changes, she has a few loose like hairs in her eye, one eye is bigger than the other, and she's like, okay, yeah, sure. It felt like super like ingenuine, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like really uncalled for. It came out of nowhere. It happened multiple times. That's the biggest example I can remember. But there's other examples of like these weird anime tropes popping up. I also really fucking hated the dad, not the grandpa. The grandpa was cool.
No, that's the I loved the dad.
I hated the dad
because he was such a shitlord. No, he was like the worst fucking dude.
He was like supposed to be comedic relief, and he
wasn't at all. No, I didn't think he was funny. At no point
did I think he was funny, but I know he was there. Like, oh, he's gonna do this really, really funny thing where he does this, and I was like, I could not stand him. I wanted her.
No, he was a piece of shit.
I wanted her to fucking like cleanse him or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hit him with the fucking spear thing and send his squids out so quick. Another issue I had was it was like. So yes, they were smart. Like I commend them on the fact that she quickly learned how to use her powers and she was efficient. She wasn't perfect, but she knew how to. This is what I can do. My grandpa needs to be next to me. Teleport. You know, palm it. Teleport. And I was like, cool. They're smart. So they are smart characters. They seem like real people. And then they do shit where like it's episode 7. They've saved their fucking the grandson, her nephew. You know, They have the dad. He's no longer in the custody of the fucking cultists. The brother has been cleansed because he was turning into Harold. Now he's fine. Brother completely useless. By the way, I wanted him to redeem himself. At no point he did it. He's so trash.
He sucked, and it was a real bummer.
Yeah, I was like, God, what a fucking waste of a character.
But also, I feel like that's an important important thing to do, because not everyone's going to be able to adapt and stuff.
Not everyone has to be chosen one or have powers, which is fine. I understand that.
The dad sucked. He was shitty. He was a shitty person and whatnot. But I think that added a lot to make the other people seem like more competent and whatever. Like every part of it. He's pretty much supposed to be just, if a regular fucking yokel who's kind of shitty shows up in this world, what would happen? And I like that we got to explore that, where he's just like not genuine and he wants to steal shit and like fuck around in this world. I
didn't like him. I really disliked him. And the biggest issue was, like I was saying, like, so this is around episode 7. They've done a lot of good things. Now the only thing they need to do is get the stone, get out of there, because apparently the reason these cultists are there is because they want to get the stone and like find out what the spell is. So first of all, they don't know what the spell is to get out. They know they're there, you know, to acquire this stone because it's easier to steal it during stasis, apparently. Yeah. But you know, but there's also been, the knowledge is out there that like if the dad releases, like the grandpa releases the spell, whoever's stuck in stasis and isn't like around the stone is gonna be stuck there forever. So all they gotta do is like undo the spell and leave the bad guys there. They're stuck forever, you know? So episode 7, they're like, okay, cool. Look, bitch, all you gotta do is cleanse your father, cleanse your nephew, because they're both important to you, obviously, you know? Then they're out of the way. Cleanse the 2 people who are helping you, and you and your grandpa go get the stone and get the fuck out of there, you know? Yeah. But then it's just like, oh, we don't have the stone. It's like, okay, fine, go get the stone wherever you're hiding it. This fucking guy who's just like pissing, and he looks over and he sees some water who in episodes earlier the girl had touched or whatever. He's like, huh, that water is, you know, it's in midair or whatever. And then he just goes, like instantly he's like, oh, that means someone was here. And then he just kind of reaches his hand up in a tree. Boom, I got the fucking crystal. I was like, what a fucking shitty hiding place. And what a stupid way to find the fucking magic rock. And then I was like, God, because at 7 I was like, this show's done. There's nothing else. Like, they're smart, because I'm giving them the props. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they figured out how to end all this. Yeah. And there's like, no, episode 7, shit just goes apparently sideways again, and then it's like, cool, another fucking 5 episodes of them trying to figure shit out, and then things just get way too wacky for me. Like the main bad guy, like he gets all yoked out, then he gets all shriveled up, and he gives us this stupid backstory, which I think was fucking garbage in my opinion. Yeah, that's fine. And then, you know, he gets turned into this weird crystal that's cutting stuff, and then he gets reverted into like an embryo and turns into a kid, and it just, after that I was like, you know what, this show's just not for me. Like, I love the intro. I was there for the intro. I like the concept of the show, you know. Again, the ending with her being depressed, I thought was super good. I wish they would have made her into a herald, because for all we know, by then, all the heralds have been dead. Like, all the heralds that have been... Because, like, essentially, these people who have this rock, the way it's supposed to work is they use the rock to, you know, to get a leg up in the world, but they also have relatives give themselves up to be heralds to protect these people in the stasis, you know? Yeah. So there's no heralds anymore. So I was like, oh, it'd be super cool if she becomes a herald, doesn't become a herald, gets set free. I don't know, man. This show wasn't for me. I would give it like a 5 or a 4 or 5 or whatever. And honestly, I didn't think it looked that good either. Like the animation style, I didn't really like it. The fights were cool when they would move around and stuff, but I just didn't think it was drawn that great. In my opinion, that's just what I'm saying.
That's fine. Yeah. I easily give it a 9.
That's good for you.
It was fucking incredible in so many different ways. All of the strange plot points that they wound up coming up with, sure, they could have had a better like reason for breaking the rock and whatnot. It just felt like that kind of went off and derailed. But I loved all the shit that happened with the guy getting all big and whatnot. I mean, that was kind of his goal the whole time, is to really experience this and fully figure out what's going on. And he had the knowledge of like what to do for the most part, but he just needed to get more information in order to experience that. So that's kind of the purpose of all of this stuff. He's trying to figure out how to shut it off, but then he had to adjust with that plan, and he started doing more and more things, bigger and better, in terms of his goal. So even though he has a different like backstory than you would have wanted, it's still... I didn't,
honestly, no backstory would have been fine. Like, you're just a bad guy. Cool, that's all I need to know, you know? Right, no big deal. Because he's like, he was a bad guy, and then he's like, oh, wait, he's not a bad guy. He's just kind of misunderstood or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like, what the fuck? I don't care the fact that your dad had sex with some chick and then your best friend's like, you have to be in the fucking priesthood. Get the fuck out of there, man. Yeah. Okay, and the thing is, like, all those last parts I was complaining about, like, you know, the fact that he turned into a baby and the crystal thing, they just really reminded me of like mangas when they get to a point where it's just like they're just kind of like shoveling shit out, like, hey, what's the plot story here, and they just like to just extend the plot. Yeah, it just kind of felt like that, but it felt like because this is a manga, you know, I felt like if you're just like, there's kind of this plot, and they just kind of like added it in, and they just kind of quickly resolved them. In my opinion, that's what it seemed. Yeah. I don't know, and I'm not going to read this manga, obviously. But hey, man, if you liked it, that's great. It just wasn't for me, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But the fucking intro song is fucking killer. That's the one saving grace. Outro song, really good too.
I love the outro
shitty
song.
Visuals, really shitty visuals.
Not a good outro, fantastic outro song. Yeah. Overall, all the very strange choices that wound up happening in it. The reason that I was so okay with it is because the whole concept and idea of this is so incredibly in its own fashion, and like it's its own thing. I don't know anything about it. You can introduce pretty much any concept to me about this because it's so foreign and it doesn't exist in what way like we could imagine at all. So I like that they were able to do some very strange stuff and kind of show us a little bit more. They could have done it a little bit more carefully, but that's why I gave it a 9 and not like higher than that. So
very reminiscent of Gaunt's when when they're stuck in this world, because in Gaunt's they get sent to these fucking essentially these places that are
like
no one can see them and they're invisible. It's kind of like the stasis essentially. But there's also plot points in Gaunt's where like they feel like they're dragging on, but it's cool because like I like the fact that the little kid got powers. Like fucking, because I was like in my head I was like, you know what, reality, that's kind of stupid. Why give the powers to the kid? But for a show it's like, this is fucking entertaining. How dope would it be to be a little kid and be like, you know what I can do? I can control big ass monsters and make them fight with my fucking brain. That's cool, and the chick that can like shift her body weight so she can like essentially float in this, and this thing is like, wow, that's dope too. And it, like I said, like these things that were given to people, like it did remind me of like of a Gaunt's kind of type
scenario,
of manga or like a type of vibe of story. And like the big yoke dude was like, it's very Gaunt's-esque in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's by the guy that made it. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, no, I mean, props to whatever to what you said, because your shit has point. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even notice the fact that it was in golden time or whatever, golden hour. Yeah, and it makes a lot more sense. Like it's a good idea because the fact that it is in golden hour, and it's stuck there, it really fucks with you to realize how long they've been in there, because it's 13 episodes. She's trying to keep
track of the days, but she can't tell. She has no sense of time.
She goes to sleep, she wakes up, it's like, it's been a day, I think,
So because she was trying to estimate the period of time in which it would be okay for her to come back after this baby's grown a certain amount. So that she wouldn't kill the baby from crushing its like little chest for forcing things out. So yeah, it had a whole number of things that I thought were really, really smart, but then some other things which were drawbacks. Clearly. So
I mean, by no means perfect show. You said that yourself.
Absolutely.
For me, definitely not a perfect show. Anyways, do we got anything else to talk about?
Nah, man, I had a great time this season. There were some really fun shows. Overall, I'm very hopeful for the next season.
Oh, also,
they're gonna be good shows.
Also, Boruto. I still kind of watch it. It's it's okay. It's no Naruto. I'll tell you what.
Sure, yeah.
I agree. Look, this season, I wasn't super impressed off the back. There are shows that I watched that I enjoyed. I also watched other shows that didn't finish. I watched Pop Team Epic, which I still think is super fun, and it's worth a watch. And the English stuff is actually pretty entertaining. But it's not a thing you have to watch everything of to get it. But like, if I had to pick a favorite this season, I don't know. I don't think. I guess it's the kid and the girl show, in my opinion. But that's because I haven't seen
A Place for the Universe,
and I also haven't finished that last episode and the new episode of Darling in the Franxx, because I also enjoy that show. But it's also not like amazing. It kind of like you said, drops ball every now and then.
It does.
And Koku,
these last two episodes
wasn't for me.
Like
no, obviously it was for you. But I feel bad for fucking Kyle having to watch fucking
GD Men's Party.
Men's Party. Poor son of a bitch.
He did it to himself.
Yeah, he asked for it.
Cool.
So that's the show, yeah. Next week we decided we're going to review Violet Evergardens. It's been out for... Right? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Or is that... So we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's been out for a hot minute in everywhere else except for the United States. So we're going to watch it because it's finally on Netflix. We're going to review it. And then the week after that, we're going to do our preview show. There's going to be at least 2 episodes out for most of the things that should be out by then.
True.
We'll at least watch one of everything because we always say we will. We'll try to watch more of stuff that's good and try to watch less of what's bad. Unless we find a really bad show that Kyle will be watching this season.
Which I think we might have, but Juan can't find it on his phone. Spoiler alert, it's naughty.
Yeah, apparently at the parental guidance thing, oh, I can't watch this, it's dirty. Which is fucking bullshit. I'm 24 years old. I should be able to watch any dirty stuff I want.
True.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have anything else to say,
Cool, man. No, that was
I'm
a good
good.
show. Oh, actually, let's give a shout out to your boss's
Dude,
kid.
Bailey, you
Shout
the
out
best.
to Bailey.
Bailey's a cool girl. She's been doing some little like button making, like pins, you know?
Yeah.
She made a couple of Insta ramens.
Dude,
It's rad as hell.
I don't even make concept art. Like, I mean, like a fucking fan art of ourselves. Like, should.
You should be like, man, this is me and Chris enjoying the same lollipop together.
I've been planning on, because I got a new instructor at school. He has a 3D printer, a really nice one, and I'm thinking about modeling some characters,
nice,
and like printing them out. So I think it'd be cool to do you and me, or our Pathfinder characters, or something.
Yeah, or our knees.
or our ankles.
Yeah. Oh,
because we're
risky.
We're
Okay.
floozies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Bailey, it's really nice. I mean, we obviously don't have the pins yet, but Trip sent me a picture. They look really cool. Keep up the good work. Do you? And I'm glad you enjoy the show.
Shout to you the best.
Yeah. So, hey, if you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. Super great person to work with. If you need some commissioned artwork, if you don't, go somewhere else. I don't know what the fuck you want. But if you actually want to see some cool artwork, go to TurbyTops.com.
Yes, sir.
Super great. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. It's Nasser, N-A-S-R. Trip, I think Tom Nasser works here, doesn't he?
Yeah, he works at this property. It's pretty rad working with a buddy who makes music. So I need to get him on making some more music.
Nice. If you want to know what property that is, just send us an email. We'll let you know where Trip lives and he works at.
Yep. Hawaii, Nevada.
Okay, so Trip, where can you find us?
Yo, you want to find us on Facebook? You look up the Instagram podcast. Simple enough. You want to find us on like the IG, Instagram? Look up the Instagram podcast. Hey, you could tweet at us on Twitter at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast didn't fit.
It's true, it did not. Shoot us an email and tell us about Kokoku and your feelings on it.
That's a good one. That's like, I think, our most controversial show.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think. Vote on who you think was wrong or right, or if we were both wrong.
Yeah, which we were.
Yeah,
just to
absolutely.
be clear.
We're never right.
We're fucking idiots. Yeah, you could email instagrampodcast@gmail.com. And then sometimes, I don't know, maybe Juan's going to join me for the last episode of Donkey Kong Country 3 stream.
Oh, when's that?
I'll stream it. I don't know, whenever.
Oh, I would love
this weekend?
to. I got shit to do, but yeah, I'd love to.
Whoa, okay. Whoa! Wow! Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't know if I have to do,
it's only like 2 or 3 hours maybe, so it's like hang out, get a little bit of grub, have a fun time.
Sounds horrible. I'd love to play. Can I play?
If you want to.
I'm bad at video games. I'd love to
All right,
play.
it's gonna
I'd
be
love
like
to ruin your game.
It's going to be like a 3 to 10 hours.
Yeah. Juan, you can't jump on the bees. They got spikes on their backs. But if I hit their head, it's like, no, Juan, they got spikes on their back. It's not okay.
Somebody doesn't know Donkey Kong Country 3. Am I right?
Can you kill the bees?
With
the cart?
There are lots of different things, but they don't have spikes on their back. They're buzzsaws, motherfucker.
Whoa, I am very ignorant. Maybe I don't deserve to play this game.
Yeah, no, this is a whole different field. This is way more mechanical. This is getting into Donkey Kong Country 64 or whatever. Donkey Kong 64. This is like the transition
Are you
game.
going to get rid of these boxes, by the way?
No, man. I'm working on them. I'm halfway done with a couple of boxes. I got 3 boxes left to unpack. I'm working on it.
I was like,
this room's never going to be unpacked. Don't fucking worry about it.
It would be fun to play. We'd be playing in here. I was like, I don't want to fucking sit on a box.
We're going to be fine. I'll take care of it, okay?
Okay, well, anyways, is that it? Is that all?
I don't have anything more. I love everyone to listen to this podcast, by the way. You're all beautiful, and I just really appreciate who you are as people.
Okay, well, this is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
I love you, Juan.
Just add hot water.